There is a war happening right now, yet no bombs are going off, no gunfire is heard. Welcome to the era of fifth-generation warfare. This isn't your typical battlefield scenario. No trenches, no barbed wire, no muddy fields filled with soldiers. This is a war fought in the shadows, in the recesses of our minds, and in the seemingly innocuous digital landscape. It's fifth-generation warfare, a conflict that is largely non-physical, yet impacts us profoundly. What makes fifth-generation warfare different from its predecessors? Well, in the past, wars were predominantly about territory, about physical dominance. They were fought with tanks, soldiers, and heavy artillery. But fifth-generation warfare? It's more subtle, more insidious. It's about influencing minds, controlling narratives, and manipulating perceptions. The weapons here are not bullets and bombs, but information and disinformation. Consider this. Psychological operations and misinformation campaigns have become increasingly prevalent in recent global events. From election meddling to the spread of fake news, these tactics aim to sow discord, create confusion, and turn us against each other. They are not a direct attack on our physical bodies, but an assault on our minds, our beliefs, and our societal fabric. In this invisible war, the battlefield is not a geographical location. It's the collective consciousness of society. It's the social media feeds we scroll through daily, the news outlets we trust, the conversations we have with our friends and family. And the soldiers? They're not in uniforms or carrying weapons. They're behind screens, spreading narratives, pushing agendas, and shaping opinions. In this war, the casualties are not marked by physical wounds but by a fractured society, polarized opinions, and a decline in trust. The damage is not to our infrastructure but to our shared reality, our sense of truth, and our collective understanding of the world. As we navigate this complex and ever-evolving battlefield, it's crucial to remember that in fifth-generation warfare, the most potent weapon is our ability to discern truth from falsehood, to question, to think critically. In a world where information is a weapon, the battleground is everywhere. In this new type of warfare, the soldiers don't wear uniforms, and they're not always human. In the digital age, the battlefield has expanded beyond physical territories. It has seeped into our screens, into the very devices that we use every day. And the soldiers? They're not always flesh and blood, but lines of code, algorithms, artificial intelligence. These are our new ghost soldiers, operating from the shadows, unseen yet powerful. Imagine a world where artificial intelligence manipulates our perceptions, where bots spread misinformation at a pace faster than we can debunk. It sounds like a dystopian novel, doesn't it? But this is not fiction. This is the reality of fifth-generation warfare. Take, for instance, the role of social media bots in influencing public opinion. These automated accounts are designed to mimic human behavior, to blend in with the crowd. They can tweet, retweet, like, share, and even engage in conversations, just like a human user. Remember the political turmoil that erupted in 2017? A study found that nearly 20% of the conversation was driven by bots. Yes, you heard that right. 1 in every 5 tweets came from a machine, not a person. The bots amplified certain narratives, drowned out others, and created an echo chamber that distorted reality. Or consider the misinformation campaigns during the global health crisis. Bots played a pivotal role in sowing discord, magnifying fears, and propagating conspiracy theories. They targeted our vulnerabilities, exploited our anxieties, and turned us against each other. These ghost soldiers are not constrained by geography or jurisdiction. They operate across borders, in the vast unregulated expanse of the internet, and they're getting smarter, more sophisticated. They're learning to mimic human behavior better, to avoid detection, to be more persuasive. In this new era of warfare, the battlefield is not a piece of land, but the human mind, and the weapon is not a gun, but information, or rather misinformation. In the shadows of the digital world, artificial intelligence has become a soldier. The battlefields are not in distant lands, but in our homes, in our hands. This might sound like a line from a dystopian novel, but in the context of fifth-generation warfare, it's a chilling reality we need to face. In this era of advanced technology, the battlegrounds have shifted from physical territories to digital spaces. The weapons of this covert war are not tanks or fighter jets, but smartphones, social media platforms, and the vast amount of personal data they hold. Each scroll, click, and like is a potential bullet. Each shared post, a potential explosive. Consider this. Every time you use your smartphone, you unknowingly contribute data points about your behavior, preferences, even your relationships. This data is then collected, analyzed, and used to create a digital profile that is as unique as your fingerprint. And it doesn't stop there. This digital profile can be used to influence your behavior and decisions. Yes, you heard it right. By knowing what you like, what you fear, and what you desire, these invisible puppet masters can tailor content that sways your opinions, stirs your emotions, and even dictates your actions. Let's take an example. Ever noticed how you think of something and it appears as an advertisement on your social media feed? That's not magic or coincidence. It's targeted advertising, a subtle form of psychological warfare, manipulating your perceptions and choices. And it's not just about selling products anymore. This digital manipulation extends to politics, worldviews, even societal norms. It's a silent war for your mind, fought not with bombs and bullets, but with data and algorithms. So the next time you pick up your smartphone, remember, it's not just a device, it's a battleground. Each app, each platform is a potential minefield where your data can be harvested and used against you. Our devices, once tools of convenience, have become weapons of influence. And in this hidden battlefield, the most important territory to conquer is not a piece of land, but the human mind. In this invisible war, the casualties are not counted in bodies, but in minds. And that, dear listener, is the harsh reality of fifth-generation warfare. It's not about tanks and bombs, it's about the mind games, the psychological warfare, the erosion of trust and unity within societies. Imagine a world where every news article, every social media post, every whispered rumor could be a weapon. That's the world we live in today. In this new battleground, the casualties are not physical. There are no bloodstains or bullet holes. Instead, the wounds are psychological. They're the doubts that creep into our minds, the divisions that tear us apart, the fear that keeps us awake at night. Take a moment to consider the rampant misinformation campaigns we've witnessed in recent years. Remember the Pizzagate conspiracy theory? A baseless claim, propagated online, led a man to fire a gun in a family pizza restaurant. That's a clear example of fifth-generation warfare. The misinformation wasn't just a harmless lie, it created real-world chaos and fear. Consider, too, the growing polarization in many societies. How often do we hear about echo chambers and filter bubbles? These are not mere buzzwords, but the manifestation of a warfare tactic. By feeding us selective information, powerful entities can manipulate our perceptions, making us more susceptible to their agendas. The result? A society divided, unable to agree on basic facts, let alone the solutions to our problems. And let's not forget the erosion of trust. Trust in our institutions, in our media, and in each other. When we can't agree on what's true, how can we trust anything or anyone? This distrust is another casualty of fifth-generation warfare. It's a wound that's hard to heal, and it's a wound that's being inflicted on us every day. In the end, the mind becomes the battlefield and the casualty. We are all, in a way, victims of this invisible war. But by recognizing the tactics, by questioning what we're told, by seeking truth and unity, maybe, just maybe, we can start to heal these unseen wounds. As we step into the unknown, one question remains: how will we navigate this new type of warfare? We find ourselves on the brink of a future where the battlefield is not marked by trenches and barbed wire, but by lines of code and algorithms. This is the era of fifth-generation warfare, a conflict characterized by its invisibility and pervasiveness. So, how do we arm ourselves against such an elusive enemy? The answer lies in equipping ourselves with the right tools and strategies. One of the primary defenses we have is digital literacy. It's crucial to understand the digital world we inhabit, to recognize the signs of manipulation and to question the source of the information we consume. By fostering a culture of skepticism and critical thinking, we can begin to dismantle the power of misinformation. For instance, in the past few years, we've seen the rise of fact-checking organizations aiming to combat the spread of false information. These groups diligently sift through the sea of data, separating fact from fiction, providing a beacon of truth in the murky waters of the digital realm. Likewise, stricter regulations on data use form another crucial part of our arsenal. Data is the lifeblood of fifth-generation warfare, and by controlling its flow, we can limit the impact of cyber attacks. Governments and corporations alike have begun to recognize the importance of data protection, implementing stringent measures to safeguard our digital identities. However, these strategies are not foolproof. The nature of this new warfare is such that it constantly evolves, finding new ways to infiltrate our defenses. We must remain vigilant, adapting our strategies as the landscape shifts. In the face of this uncertainty, it's easy to feel overwhelmed. Yet, it's essential to remember that we are not powerless. Each one of us holds a piece of the puzzle, a fragment of the solution. By arming ourselves with knowledge, exercising caution in our digital interactions, and standing up for the truth, we can begin to turn the tide. In the fog of this invisible war, our greatest weapon may be the truth.